Sorry to keep you waiting. Oh my goodness. I had to go to the store, you guys. I'm going to wait until you pop in to tell you what's up. And if you've never come into one of my lives on Sunday night, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. I have a show here, What's My Good Cheer, that I do Monday to Friday. Here on Sundays, I have an amazing crew. We have gotten together for quite a while now, and it's become part of our routine, part of our lives, right? Part of that idea of staying social. We're looking out, right? Especially now in this digital age where it's so easy to get it tied up online. And for me, it's very important to equally um, give as much to myself into that life that I grind in and ground in, because it keeps me exactly that, grounded, right? Hello, Andrew. Hello, Andrew. How was your week, dear? Yeah, we've got a video. We got an adventure video coming up. I'm going to turn it into a premiere. Oh, and Kathy's here. Awesome. Um, I'm going to turn it into a premiere for next Sunday. That's the challenge. So, my sister invited me to go tubing with her. In all honest truth, I don't think I've been on an inner tube in 20 years, right? Blow up apparatuses, right? The dinghies and the floaties and stuff, yes, but going actually tubing, no, it's been a long time. And as a kid, it was something I absolutely loved. And it was usually something that we did lots of, because I was growing up in Vancouver, British Columbia, along the Pacific coast, and beautiful beaches, and being the adventurers that my whole family was. That I got to have that experience of being able to build that connection to the water. Yeah, it's really neat, but I haven't been tubing since I was, like, on a regular basis, since I was a teenager. But because it was so inexpensive, like, dad would be able to get his hand on tubes and we'd be able to just take them down to the beach. No, so much fun. But this tubing, now this is what you guys are going to find so interesting. Do you remember that explore video I did of Pinawa Dam, where I trekked into this provincial park? Well, it's a provincial park now. Um, I hiked in because I didn't realize it wasn't active in the wintertime. And so I trekked in up the road like a mile or a mile and a half from the main highway, and I got there just around dusk. But I got my explore in. It was lots of fun. I tell you, on any one of mine, I don't think there was another explore that I have done that left me so physically exhausted. It was an amazing feeling being that exhausted, right? Because, well, obviously, because I was enjoying what I was doing, right? So my sister invited me to go tubing with her and her boyfriend, and we're gonna have a little barbecue at the Pinawa Dam. So I thought, well, what a great way to start off my channel, coming back to my channel, to actually have an explore video. So I'm going to film it. So yesterday, this it's going to be fun. So you'll be able to see it in the perspective of summer, right? What it looks like in summer, and I'll be able to, well, I'll have more energy because I wasn't trekking through 3 feet of snow, right? And we'll be able to see the river, that the dam actually, well, the river actually supported the dam, and a whole small community was built around their workers and their families, and they built schools and farms. And yeah, all the houses are gone now. They didn't keep any of the houses. The foundations of the houses are still there, but you wouldn't have seen them last time I was there because of all the snow, right? So maybe now I can take you and you could kind of maybe have an idea of how the streets were lined and everything. Maybe we can walk into the bush, because a town like that, you guys, would have bottle dumps, wouldn't they? Yeah, 1909 for sure. Good bottle dumps too. Unfortunately, it was made a provincial park, so it's not something I could do, but I could go into the bush, and if they're on the surface, right? If the bottles are on the surface, who's to say? But it's a pretty popular park. We're going to have a barbecue. We're going to go on the inner tubes. I'm going to try and make it into a video. It didn't start off so great because I bought my new, well, I got for my birthday last year, was my new wireless microphone to replace the microphone that I lost. And, and I didn't want to lose this microphone. They're expensive, number one, and they're easy to come off, right? Because they're just little clips. So I thought, oh, and I had a little patch, and I thought, well, what if I sew it onto my patch, right? Nice and tight, so it's nice and snug. And then just take like a baby pin, like a safety pin, and pin the patch to myself. Then I would have more secure, I'd feel more secure that I wasn't going to lose my microphone, right? Because it was securely to the patch. And I certainly trust a big old baby pin better than I could trust that little clamp that came with the microphone. So anyway, I was sewing it on. I was really, really proud of myself. I went to take a break so I could make a cup of coffee. Let's have a sip of my cup of coffee. And I dropped it in water. And then I came back to do into a bowl. It was in a bowl, and I came back to get back to work on it. And I'm looking all over the desk for my patch, right? With the microphone attached to it. Yeah, you guessed it. I looked for that patch for over a half an hour before I realized, what's that floating in that bowl? And I picked it up, and sure enough, I don't know, maybe it was on my lap, and when I stood up, right, it went into the bowl. But I tried to save it last night, didn't work out. Tried to save it this morning. I came home today just to give it a quick peek to see if it worked. There's only one more option, and that's to reset it. But there's no power at all. It's not taking a charge. So whatever's going on, that liquid got into the charging port, right? So, which is disappointing because it's really important to have good sound in your videos. And I specifically bought that microphone so I could have good sound, and it took me a while to figure out how to use it and everything. And I did a silly thing, and I destroyed it getting it ready for my adventure tomorrow, for going out. So it's the Winnipeg River. It's actually a river, and we're going to coast down the river in our inner tubes for about 3 hours. So last night I didn't pack everything. I'm nowhere near ready, and I got a sink full of dishes I still have to wash. Yeah, and I lost my bank card and right now, but luckily I had some cash on me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do anything until the bank's open tomorrow. Um, and then just like lots of these little hiccups, like lots of these little irritants, right? And that's what they were. And and the way my mindset goes, I just try and brush them off. But it's disappointing when things cost me time, my effort, my money, right? And my emotional well-being, because I could have been taking in lessons. I could have been packing up my gear, right? I had two bathing suits to choose from, so I quickly tried on which bathing suit that I was going to take with me. And then obviously when you come out of the water, I'm going to have another change of clothes. So I had put a change of clothes there. And I think I'll just, wear a throw, right? Or something like a sundress or something there. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. Plus, it'll also be my first video that I'm going to be editing on my new editing program. That's all ready to go now, you guys. It's on my computer. Of course, it's going to frustrated me. I do not like editing videos, you guys. I don't like editing videos, especially when I start getting into the editing and I see where I'm going with things and I see the trees and the mother nature and then I go off places and then my creativity gets going and then not like it's going to be fantastic or anything, but I'm going to be very tough on myself when I'm doing my editing. So forgive me if I don't do a good job, or if I'm just do a couple of quick cuts, but I do want to practice editing. And at the very least, because my microphone, obviously, because I'm going on my trip next month, I need to buy another one. So it's going to be the third microphone, the same microphone, because it was such a great microphone. The only flaw was the little clippy that came with it, right? And I'll just be very, very careful because it was secure. It was working. I was all proud of my idea. And also, it had little curves so that it sat in there so that if the wind was coming this way, it would have extra protection, right? Well, it had a mouse cover over top of the microphone, but yeah. So, enough of my microphone. It is what it is. You don't cry over spilt milk. You do whatever you can to resolve the situation, fix it, right? I'm not an engineer. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not inclined technically that way. So unless I want to pay somebody to do it or ask somebody to do it, maybe I just need to make that effort and watch a YouTube video. I bet you there's a YouTube video on how to do it. Well, before I move on to the next thing and count it and chalk it up as spilt milk, we'll check those one other thing. So there's two things I can check is I can reset the microphone on the off chance that might work, but there's no power. But I'm right. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I tried everything. And then the other option, well, I could do overlays. I could do overlays because, right, I can express the experience I was having in the moment. I'll probably even enjoy. I'll probably even enjoy reviewing and talking about it because I like that. Especially when times aren't good. I don't know if you guys do this when you're going through a difficult time. It's kind of like preoccupying your mind, right? But I like to do different things. I like to do things that make me smile, things that I can get into, and I can see already that I'm looking forward to getting in and start editing again the videos. But I know I didn't care for it too much. And I think it's only because, like anything else, right? I'm learning a new thing. I've had Premiere Pro, but this is a different program that I can permanently have on my laptop. I specifically bought this laptop. I achieved that magnificent, beautiful laptop that we're doing our live on today. Uh, you know, um, just by understanding what I needed next. And I truly didn't understand it because the plan was every penny I had was going towards my vacation. But I don't think it's going to make a big difference that I have this now. And also, right, I wouldn't be here right now because I would still be on my webcam on my PC, and that's a terrible camera, right? So I wouldn't be making the moves that I'm making now. Not making great, big, gigantic moves, but you know, when you're sensitive, when you're a little nervous that way, right? but you have no choice. Like, I'm moving forward, and I'll take baby steps if I have to. I'll take this slow if I have to. But I'm doing this on my own steam. It's about being proud of myself, right? Prairie Dodgers is my creation, and it can be whatever I want it to be, as long as I, right, stay within the YouTube guidelines. And I am, right, I am willing to do that in order to have this opportunity to show up here. Right? I love YouTube, and I'm excited to be here. And if you guys didn't know, I started my my podcast on YouTube this week. Don't mind me, my throat is sore. I've exhausted myself out over the course of the week, right? Like I said, lots of hiccups, little things, but nothing, right? Nothing, because it's all about change. Why am I going to worry about that spilt milk, right? I got that. I'm never doing that again. I'm never getting myself in that situation again, right? And you learn from it. Yeah. Okay, let's go in and see what you guys are yipping about. Hi, William. Sharon's here. How's your summer, Sharon? Sparkling ice flavored sparkling water. Really? You don't look like a sparkling water kind of guy, William. That's interesting. I love learning different things, because we've all been together here for years now, and I have ideas about what you might look like, how you might live through our bits of um, interactions, right? But in all truth, right, none of us really true. Well, Sharon, because Sharon came up here to Winnipeg and spent some time with me. We got to know each other good, but it always surprises me when I hear new things. And I have a picture of my mind well, I know what William looks like because of his social media and stuff, right? But um I have a picture in my mind of who William is, right? But that picture did not include sparkling ice flavored water. Right? Not that I'm knocking the flavored water, because I drank flavored water for every day for a year when they first came out. Those fruit sparklers, I think they were called, when those things first started coming out, and I was determined to lose weight, and it took me about 11 months, and I lost 160 pounds. But I drank those things constant. I didn't like the taste of water. And I'm not even quite sure if bottled water was really popular around that time. I don't think it was. We're probably looking back to the mid 80s, maybe. Going back. Yeah, we're going back a ways. Yeah, I like the antioxidants too, William. Right? It keeps our system healthy, so that when this colds and viruses and contagious stuff come around, that we're physically better to handle it. I take vitamins. I take vitamins every day, but I mix them up. Like, I usually take two. Well, I always take two vitamins a day, but I mix them up, and I just, because some pills you need more, right? Some vitamins need more than others. Like, I need more vitamin B12, so I do a couple of B12s a week. I need more magnesium, so I do magnesium 2 or 3 times a week. right? I haven't been doing the D3, the D's, the vitamin D's. I really need them in the winter, but because I spend so much time outside. Well, I'm not saying I spend a lot of time, but compared to people my age, right? Oh, this is so neat. Listen to this, you guys. So I don't know if any of you guys are Google guides. Are any of you guys Google guides? I think I have over 3 million views as a Google guide. That's like when I went on those road trips and when I went on my vacations and stuff, I would take pictures of the buildings when I was looking for directions. And it was just my way to say thank you for getting me here. Like I use Google Map slots. Thank you for getting me here. So I would take a picture and it helps Google to map out and keep current in the layout of almost I'd have to say every city in the world, right? But I have a lot of views on the few places that I've taken pictures and posted from, right? On my Google Maps. Now what I was talking about Google Maps. Oh, you guys, Andrew, it was interesting. Remind me. I trailed off there, talked about the water, and then all of a sudden I found myself on Google Maps. Oh, yes. Okay, it can pay. It came back. It came back. I'm so exhausted, you guys. What a week I had. But I'm happy I'm here, right? I'm happy that I get to do some things for myself, right? Oh, Nancy's here too. Hello, Nancy. Okay, so here's what it was. So because I'm a Google guide, they give me monthly updates and they keep track. They have permissions and everything of mine. I don't take all my walks with my phone. Quite often I leave my phone at home because when I'm going for a walk, I'm just going for a walk, right? And and I get my update that they send me every month. And it turned out last month, carrying my phone, so that meant that when went for the walks or went to the grocery stores, and I walked quite a bit because my sister was sick and she lives like 6 miles away or something, right? But and then to walk there and then to walk home. So I can imagine that I did put extra kilometers and miles in, but I walked um 30 38 kilometers last month. That's more than a kilometer every day. And that's not like the stepper count either, because when I'm at work, I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand, right? You know, so I'm not using my phone all the time. So it makes me think that maybe it's probably closer to 50 or 60 kilometers a month that I walk. And I was really, really impressed. They even knew how many hours I put. 16 hours of my life I gave to transit. I gave to the bus service 15 hours of my time. That's places where, going back and forth to work or to go visit my sister or what have you, right? And then it also had my bike riding. And I think I walked more kilometers than I did bike ride. I really enjoy walking, only because I could do it in my sleep, right? That, unless they're really doing construction on the sidewalks and stuff, I can pretty much just get into the walk. And that's, enjoying looking at the trees and in people's windows if it's nighttime and they got their curtains open. I like to see how people decorate their houses and stuff, right? It's not like I'm a peeping Tom or anything, but I'm curious. And I also, when I go for walks, I walk down back lanes because I like to look at people's gardens, and I like to look at people's patio furniture, how they do up their backyard where they have gardens and gazebos and right tool sheds and patio decks. And it's not like I'm doing it in kind of a sleazy, stalker kind of way. I just find it interesting, right? It gives me ideas, and you never know where I'm going to have that conversation. And because I had that experience and I saw those things, that if somebody says, "Oh, I wish I could do this," and I could say, "Oh, let me tell you about this box garden I saw in this woman's yard," right? I was gonna make wraps for the tubing tomorrow, because we're going out on the river, and we're gonna lay on a tube, and we're gonna just drift down the river. It takes three hours till we get to the pickup point, but we have to be there in 3 hours. So we go down the river. We can stop wherever we want or anything, but we just have to make sure that we're at the meeting point in 3 hours, um, from where we take off in our inner tubes. It's going to be so much fun. And I promise I'm going to make a good video, right? I'm going to make lots of videos, and I'm going to take some pictures for my Instagram to get those Mother Nature pictures back on Instagram. I want to stay connected all over the place. I love pears, William. When I was a kid, oh my goodness. While living in BC, it's very much the weather for fruit trees. And in fact, we have the Okanagan in British Columbia. And a lot of the produce all over North America comes from the Okanagan. It's kind of like Florida when it comes to oranges, right? But Okanagan for your Macintosh apples and stuff. Um, um, yeah, but the pear trees, plum trees, cherry trees, apple trees, peach trees, all kinds of trees. The only trees I didn't like the crab apples. They were too sour. They were too sour, but oh my goodness, pears. And I would always go on the ground, and I would pick not the ones that were bruised, but the ones that were ripened, right? That fell to the ground because they were ripe. And as long as the bruising's not too bad, those were my favorite ones, because you bite into the pear, and it all runs down your cheek, right? So it was my idea to make the wraps to take tubing with us, but they had a big sale on wraps this week. So yeah, unless I wanted rice wraps, there was no tortilla wraps to make my sandwiches. So I bought a great big fruit platter, like this big, and it's got cantaloupe and grapes and melon and watermelon and cherries and blueberries and strawberries. It's got all kinds of berries. It's really big. So I said, "Oh, I'll make something, but this will work for me." Well, maybe I'll make them some muffins. Yes, maybe I'll make them some muffins. Yeah, because he said he was gonna uh, do all the meat and the smokies and all of that. We can't have campfires here, but most places in North America, there are restrictions, isn't there, because of the fires? Is there any place out there that doesn't have restrictions? If you're good to go, if you went camping, if you could have a fire, maybe Kathy. Oh no, Kathy, Nova Scotia's had fires too, haven't they? Fires are so bad this year. Yeah, lots of people losing everything and more. Because when I say losing everything and more, that more is the credit cards, right? Because that's what they paid for all that stuff with, was the credit card debt. So it's going to be tough going, I think, for quite a while for people. Why? You thought pears were a tropical fruit, Kathy? Oh, no. No, British Columbia, almost every backyard in Vancouver had a pear tree. Yeah, they grow very, very, very well. The pear trees were my favorite. Well, I love plums. I truly, really. Oh, okay. um, yeah, I love plums. I love plums. I think plums, besides pears, are my favorite. And then it has to be watermelon, right? Who doesn't love watermelon? Yeah. Put your hand out so we can poke at you. Oh, did you? Okay. Nancy says she's left me a picture on Instagram. Let's go check out what Nancy sent me here. My throat is really sore. Oh yeah. Nancy Nancy got some new dolls. Oh my goodness. That they look like real babies, don't they? They look like absolutely real babies. Yeah. I'm glad that you have a hobby. And she's keeping up too with the hobby on the train track. But oh my goodness, what happened with that project, Nancy? What happened to that? You sent me and you said, "Oh, this is my next project." You sent that to me and you didn't let me know how it was coming along. Oh, yeah, I bought that platter for going on that trip tomorrow, but I have to eat more fruit. I really love fruit, right? I really love fruit. And I know it's high in sugar and stuff, but I feel healthy when I eat fruit. It keeps the system moving properly and it's enjoyable to eat. You can chop things up and freeze them and make like popsicles and desserts from fruit. You can do so many things with fruit, and I think they're really good. I like fruit. I went back to the coffee mate with my coffee because I have to have creamer in my coffee, but I gave up cream again. I don't think cream serves me very well anymore. My mother didn't like cream. Only the only time she ever had cream was when she made her rice pudding, and then she would use her canned milk. My mother liked the canned milk. What do you call that? Evaporated milk. I didn't mind the evaporated milk in my tea when I was a little kid. Never in my coffee, but in my tea, I didn't mind it too often. But when I became older, like say in my 30s and stuff, oh, I really don't care for milk at all. Evaporated milk, I could, right? Just the right. And I gotta think too that right. I haven't had rice pudding in a long time, and without that canned milk in the rice pudding wouldn't be nearly as delicious as it truly is. You like the evaporated milk? Yeah, it's a very English thing, that canned milk. It was something that became very popular during the First World War, right? Because it was able to last a long time and people really, really enjoyed it. And because it works so well, evaporated what milk works so well in dessert recipes, that it's still sticking on the shelf, right? Even after all these decades and right, obviously just as popular. For weight loss, Andrew, like you can actually lose weight from eating lemons. I don't know. I feel I've been on every single diet my entire life. I have tried every single diet. The only diet that truly did work for me was Dr. Atkins is the one, which is kind of like a keto diet, right? But the Dr. Atkins I thought was a little bit better because it it got you to that keto state, but at the same time, it allowed you to introduce those foods back, so you were able to create your own way of, well, living, basically, right? Right. uh, just catching up on the comments there. I'm keeping up on them tonight. I'm really surprised. Oh, but you guys, today was going to be staff purchase day, right? But now I am on lockdown, so there's no frivolous spending for the next 6 weeks. I'm trying really hard. I went and did that little bit of shopping before I came live tonight. And then, anything that isn't truly good for me will slowly be eased out. I do things always in baby steps. It's how I get things to stick, right? You can't take everything that I love away from me in an instant and think that I'm going to be good with that. My entire life, for me, myself, I've never denied myself anything I didn't want or didn't need unless I couldn't afford it. And if I couldn't afford it, well, that was on me, right? But I wasn't much of a person for saying no to myself. Needless to say, why I might have gotten up to 300 pounds there, right? It's how I coped. It's how I managed my stress, right? And I became very hyper vigilant. And I think it's why I've created my life the way I've created it right now. Basically, right, it's pretty safe. But you wouldn't know it to look at the week that I had. Oh my goodness. I am glad this week is over. And we're going to go in and have some fun tomorrow. We're going to go tubing down the Winnipeg River, and it's a big river, right? We're going to go for 3 hours. I picked up an extra chair, and I'm just going to use it for my gear. And I'm going to tie some string onto it, and then I'm going to tie it to the tube that I'm sitting on. I'm going to tie it to the tube that I'm sitting on, and I'm just going to keep all my gear. And then if I need anything, an extra drink or some fruit or whatever I need, I'll just be able to pull the tube rope towards me, grab what I want, and then let it go again, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to float right behind me. And so, I spent the last few dollars. Well, I didn't spend the last few dollars. I spent a few dollars I shouldn't have spent on this thing. And but I think it will be good if it's big enough and it's strong enough. It'll be good, and it'll give me a little bit extra safe space, and also give me a little bit more security that my gear is not going to get wet, because if I'm filming, I'm taking my gear with me, right? I've already charged my I say yeah, wrong time. I charged my battery packs. I've packed my bag with my bathing suit, my extra clothes, a bath towel, my coffee mug, my sunglasses, everything that I need. And then I have my backpack there, which I'll put my fruit and I'm not sure. I'm going to make something else. I think I mentioned to you what I was going to do and I forgot. Muffins. That's what I said I was going to do. Yeah, that's a good one. Right? I'll make some muffins. That's what we're going to need eat after eating all that fruit. Okay, let's look at these comments. Yeah, I don't do a lot of milk. I can tell by my how my system works that the milk is not really good for me. Right? On the norm. I'm not that regular, but I can tell ya, right? You give me that milk and problem solved 100%, and that's a clear sign that it's your liver, right? That doesn't like that milk. It's the lactate, I think, that's in the milk. But don't quote me on that. I'm just trying to think what's coming to the surface when I'm talking about it. Yeah, maybe I didn't say the word properly. Oh, yeah, like William says, lactate milk. Yeah, my ice cream. I love ice cream, but oh my goodness, every time I have ice cream, I have such issues, right? So I've given up. I got my coffee. I'm back on my coffee mate until I could drink my coffee without creamer in it. I need something. So I've been doing coffee mate the past year or so, and I don't know how I got back on the cream. Maybe it came on sale or I didn't have the money, so I just ran to the store and just used my last few cents to get as much milk as I possibly could to last me the few days until payday. That was probably something like that, right? Yeah. Oh, I love milk too, Nancy. I don't hate you. I just saying lucky girl when it comes to milk. My downfall when it comes to the dairy products, I love puddings. Like I love puddings. Like puddings and bananas, right? Puddings in between cake, puddings and whipping cream, puddings on ice cream and whipping cream and fruit and chocolate syrup. And why are we talking about food, you guys? That doesn't sound very diet oriented, does it? What's moo juice, Melvin? Hi, Melvin. What's the moo juice? And which reminds me, I haven't seen Moo Cow in so long. Absolute sweetheart. Yeah. If you watch my live, I know there are people who watch my lives after it's over. Oh, it's milk. Oh, Moo Moo. Okay, Moo Moo juice, milk. Oh, aren't you cute? Right? See? Right over my head, like it's just plain. Like I'm reading it now, I'm going, oh, Cindy. Right? But that one went just right over my head. But moo cow, right? If you're coming in and popping into the live, right, just to catch up on what's been going on. I hope you're having an amazing summer. That you and your family are getting to spend some time out at the cottage. Right? There are lots of people that pop into my lives, and I know that they enjoy the lives, but I don't know. Sometimes they're shy, and you guys have to expect too that I got my show going. What's my good cheer? Andrew actually came in. Kathy came in to my live show. William came into my live show right this week. absolutely amazing. I didn't even say thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. It's very, very sweet that you guys popped into my show. What's my good cheer? Monday to Friday, I've been doing the show, and I transitioned, I think, very good. Right? It could always be better, right? In my mentality, I could pick it away, or in that unperfect perfectionism, I could have picked away at it, right? But yeah, it went off without any hitches, and it's going good. So the idea now for that show, it will be a Monday to Friday show. What's my good cheer? And that will be before I start my day, before I leave my house. So if I leave my house at 10, my live show, it'll be 9. If I'm leaving the house at 12, my live show will be at 11, right? Try and make sure my live show is a little bit earlier, so I actually have time to come in and just, right, just spend some time. Then on Saturdays, because my show is now on YouTube, I'm going to spend it on Instagram and just touch base with everybody there on Instagram and fill them in about what's been going on during the course of the week with my live show, my brand, right? My life. I'm grateful to have people who are considerate enough to ask after me, even today. But I just, when it's not busy, and it wasn't busy, and we've been doing projects. They're doing some major construction in front of our store, and it's really hurting the sales. But in order to keep the staff there, right, we got to have the money flowing in. But when it's not flowing in, we're clock watching, we're doing projects, right? Doing extra cleaning, but that clock watching is a killer, and I don't like to be that person. I'm not that person very often, and when I am, I know that usually it will put me in a state of, right, time to go live my life, time to call it a day, right? And I'm not even sure if I've ever had that feeling at my job ever. And that's how badly the construction is impacting the store. We're all losing hours, and I accept it for what it is. But it's not going to change the job that I do, because you know this company has treated me so well. This company took me under their wing, right? Gave me a little bit of mentorship, right? Treated me like a friend, right? Absolutely amazing company. And I would like to think that when I left, that they would have those warm feelings for me, right? Oh, we miss Cindy, right? Oh, everything was wonderful when Cindy was here, and that's the way that I would like to leave things. But I understand, right? I don't always get to make those choices. And I don't know why I got into that. Oh, about talking about my week and what's going on at work, because we are in a season of change too. And I'm feeling it 100%, but I'm not letting it take me down, and I'm just carrying on with my life because I got stuff to do. I got tubes to ride. Dishes. I got dishes to do. I got sunsets to watch. I've got a bike ride to do. I've got a evening walk, right? I'm creating a life for myself that makes me happy, but at the same time, it gives me that sense that I'm making some good movement, right? That if I can just continue to do these baby steps, right? Listen to my intuition and make those moves when I think I should make those moves, and let my creativity, right, dictate the directions that I want to go in, and not let the little mishaps and catastrophes and little hiccups, like I said the other day on my Instagram, right? If it gets to that point, if it's really starting to hurt, yeah, we stuck in it just a little bit too long. And I don't want to be that person that sits in the miseries, right? Got to recognize it. You got to figure a way to get out of it. You just got to get to work at it until it can be realized. Not that there's anything going on or anything. I'm just giving examples and stuff, right? Or maybe there is something deep inside of me there. And because when I said no, I thought, oh, but because I recognize something. But that's the thing, right? That's what keeps me coming back, is to make those little realizations of when I misstep, when I fall flat on my face, when I succeed, when I'm just going with the flow and things are just perfect, right? And just appreciate that at any moment everything is going to be okay. And if these catastrophes like my microphone happen, take a look at it. What is it I can do? Spend a little bit of time. If it's going to cost you some money, spend a little bit of time to see if you can resolve it another way, fix it another way, right? Come up with another idea of what you could do. But if you can't do anything, don't beat yourself up in the process, right? And I don't think I've ever been that person, because I'm always the person who's just ready for the next thing anyway. So I didn't need much encouragement that way. But it is something. It is something to think about. Oh, I'm not giving up, Owen. No, I'm not. I don't have to, in all actuality, because if nothing else comes of it than what's going on right now, I think I'm good with that, right? That's a lot of work pushing into some of those realms that, I'm pushing up against and stuff. And I'm not somebody who ever sticks around somewheres where they're not welcomed, right? Or I'm not invited, right? So I'm pretty good, right? Because I can't cry over spilt milk. I can try and find those lessons, and whether those lessons come from a video I watch on YouTube or a conversation or a actual relationship, right? Or an expert. I don't have those tools in this moment. But that doesn't mean somewhere's down the road that I'm not going to make a friend, right? Or I might meet a friend and that friend has a friend, right? And these things happen all the time. And I could stress myself up every second, every moment of the day. And in that day, stress about what's going on years down the road, right? Create things that are happening in our lives when they're right. It wasn't even a thought up until, right? So I've never been that person. I've never been that person to cry over spilt milk, and I've lost some pretty incredible things, right? Some pretty amazing relationships. I've lost my engagement ring. I lost my engagement ring. Oh my goodness. Now that one, remember what I said? You can't cry over spilt milk, right? If there's nothing you can do about it, why are you going to beat yourself up about it, right? But I was at home. I knew I lost that ring somewheres in my home 2 weeks after I got engaged. 2 weeks after my husband gave me that engagement ring, I lost it, right? He thought I pawned it in all truth. Maybe he teased me. Maybe he really did think I pawned it. But I remember I didn't let any garbage at all leave my house. And each garbage bag that I eventually got out of the house, I went through it like 3 times to see if I could find my diamond ring. And it's funny because in that process of looking for my engagement ring, in the toilet tank in the bathroom, I found a diamond and emerald fancy ladies ring, and it was diamonds and diamonds diamonds and emeralds, the green stones, right? And it was somewheres that somebody was storing their valuables, and they didn't see the ring. Maybe it was just in the little bit of pipe a little bit, right? But the weight of it wasn't sucking it down, but it was just around the corner, right? But yeah, but I never did find my engagement ring. And it took about a week, and then finally the garbage made it out, and that acceptance rolls in. If you find it, amazing, right? Um and if you don't find it, right, that's okay too. But I've got to go on with my life. I got a wedding to plan, right? And I just let it go, and I never did find that engagement ring. I never did get it back. And it was such a surprise. My husband, he was so sweet, always with the surprises, always with those romantic surprises. It was just super, super sweet, right? But yeah, I was actually thinking about his mother passed away this Christmas. And, every once in a while I Google him. He's not the type, he wouldn't be online, I don't think. But somewheres along the line, maybe his sister posted a picture or something. And, I thought I might eventually catch a snippet as to what he was doing, and not snooping or being obsessive in it, but wishing him well in his life, right? But curious as to what did he do with his life, right? Compared to what I did with my life, what did he do with his life? And then this past New Year, I Googled him, and his mother's obituary came up, and it had an option for me to have some messages given to him. But I didn't want to open up that can of worms, because there was so much emotions tied up, so much love tied up into that, and so much release. Like I gave up, right? Like I had all those walls built up in me that nobody ever crack. And he cracked them, and he cracked them with ease. Like he right? It was nothing. He had me with literally hello, right? But sometimes we just don't grow together. And if we don't have commonalities, right, then you're just like next door neighbors. You know each other's name, and maybe know how often they cut each other's grasses, right, in their front lawns and stuff, how neighborly they are. But truly, we don't ever get to really know the people, because we're off doing our own thing and they're off doing their own thing, and you don't get to have those shared shared experiences. And that's what broke it for us, because right, we didn't grow together. And you don't necessarily have to grow together, but you have to have that interest and support for each other's interests. You know what I mean? You have to be involved in each other's passions, even if it's just sitting at the other end of the couch and listening to your husband or your wife telling you about your hard day and stuff, that you're actually interested, right? But quite often we're like roommates in all actuality with our partners. Even with my parents, my parents, I think, well, hard to say, because they always said when the kids turn 18, that's it. When the kids are out of the house, we're like, they used to have these great big dynamic scraps all the time, right? And but I don't think they would have ever really, because they were just too comfortable with each other. And I don't know how I was going into that conversation. Something was leading me that into that, but that's that tiredness, right? I'm really, really quite bagged, and it's not from today, because today was not a today was not a busy day. And like I said, we tried to keep ourselves busy with projects and stuff, and for the most part it worked out good. We got through the day, and I got home, and I made it to the grocery store, and right, I got a wicked sweat going on here. I don't know what's making it so hot here, because it's not that hot outside. It's only 25 Celsius, so it's just slightly above the room temperature. Hmm. Isn't that interesting? Oh, Brother David's here, you guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice of you. What? No. No, because I sent him a different kind of icon. Yeah, the first one got lost in the mail somehow, but another one popped into the store, and we sent it off to Brother David. How have you been doing? How have you been doing? How is the recession? Is the recession really bothering where you're living right now? I know we've been talking here on our live show here that we're really feeling it in the price of the groceries and stuff, and it looks like lots of us here are fruit eaters. We all, right? Something it looks like that we all have commonality. But right, I think most people like fruit. Yeah. I think I might get some watermelon. I should have bought a watermelon for the tubing day tomorrow. I'm going inner tubing. Gonna sit in an inner tube with my suntan lotion. Right. I'll stop off at the Tim Hortons and get myself a nice big cup of coffee for the drive out there, because it's quite a ways. I think it's about an hour and a half drive up there. We're heading north, and then it'll probably take us another hour to get set up. It's gonna be an event. I won't be home until later on in the evening for sure, and then we're gonna have a barbecue. I'm gonna film it for everybody, so I'll take everybody on the trip with me, and you'll be able. Well, you've met Alice. Alice has come on to my live quite often. And she used to come live onto my Instagram quite often, and she's absolutely amazing. I'm very grateful to have my sisters, and that was really nice of her to invite me. Right, I was so ready for an outing. Right, I was so ready for an adventure. Not only that, it seems almost like a little miracle that I get to have a little adventure now that would be what is it, considered something that I could be able to put onto my YouTube channel, right? So yeah, maybe we'll get a walk with me in, because I'll go off by myself too. I'm sure I'll pull over to shore and want to go into the bush and stuff, or climb up into a hill. You never know. I just take these moments to moments on these kind of days. I'm just gonna suck the whole day in. Yeah. I like cooked vegetables. When I was a kid, I could only eat raw vegetables. I couldn't eat cooked vegetables. And now as an adult, I have a problem with raw vegetables, but cooked vegetables, I really love. Tomatoes, tomatoes I liked cooked or raw. And talk about tomatoes. The Hutterite ladies came in yesterday to the store and they brought me in two tomatoes, and these tomatoes were like this big. They gave me two tomatoes and some corn on the cob, right? And when it gets close to harvest and stuff, they like to come in. They're very nice ladies. They treat me and the rest of the staff very well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring in for us this year. I hope potatoes. Potatoes are very expensive. Usually they go, on sale quite often in the summertime. So far, nothing. Maybe as it gets closer to better harvest, that maybe the price will come down a little bit. I don't know about what's going on in the States, if you guys can let me know, but here in Canada, the government has come to the plate pretty good for, I think, in any case, and it's been helping out the low incomes and been divvying out little checks here and there. I have, I think, four checks from the government. Two two of them are from the provincial government, and three of them are from um, federal government. And altogether, it's going to equal just over $500. And I'm going to use that $500 to fix my glasses, right? So the money in my mind, it's already set away. So I won't plan to spend that money for anything. That money comes in October, so it'll be right after I come back from my vacation, right? So it'll work out pretty good. My eyes are starting to get bothered a little bit because they are progressive bifocals that they don't sit on my face properly, right? But I wanted the transit to settle up, but I have to take care of this myself, and I'll just sue them down the road somewheres when my life isn't so busy. My life is not that busy. Yeah, no, it wasn't the first icon. It was the second icon. Um, uh, Andrew. But that first one I sent was so pretty. It was small. It was only about this big, but it was a thick piece of copper with some wood or filler backing on it. So it was really thick in the back, but it was big, thick piece of copper. But it was a beautiful icon, and I thought for sure that it would make it in the mail. And I did have his address right, so I did right because this one got to him okay. So so I'm figuring, they people play with the mail all over the world, right? They look for all kinds of ways to to make money. There's a gentleman that I watch on YouTube. He's called Harold Balder, and he's a Norwegian, and he's traveling India right now, and he likes to go where the regular people are. He doesn't like to go to the tourist spots, and he went down to the water, to the Ganges, and he actually went in and bathed in the Ganges. I would never ever. You couldn't pay me enough to do that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, he went down there and he bathed in the water, and then he came out of the water, and then some guy said he wanted to paint some religious stuff on his forehead and stuff, and he said, "How much?" And the guy said, "Free, no charge, no charge." And so he let the guy do that to his head, all the different colors and stuff. And the guy showed him the picture in the mirror, right? And he said, "Oh, nice." And then went and turned around, and then the guy asked him for money, right? For this, he says, and the funny thing is, when you go into the market, like people are like that all over the place, just looking for money and handouts. When you go to the market where the restaurant, the food stalls are and stuff, families sit in front of the food stalls, and it's supposed to be like good 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 karma. It's, it's the right thing to do, that if you purchase something to eat for you or your own family, that you might donate something, order something a little extra for these mounds of people that are sitting on the ground waiting for people to buy them food, right? But when he went to the market, people were just saying, come to my store, and follow me, I'll show you the right place, don't buy anything here, too expensive, and kept trying to lead him off. And he wasn't enjoying his experience, because these people would just not leave him alone so he could enjoy his visit to the market, right? And very, very sneakily, but then he said he went to another part of the city, and he said nobody bothered him, and the market was just as busy, but nobody bothered him. But it's just in the different classes, right? You can see that that fear, that desperateness going on in their lives. So I've been watching. He's really, really good. If you want to watch something really good, he's a world traveler. I watch a few. I watch the Indigo Traveler. He's really good too, and he's for good causes. All his money that he makes on his YouTube channel, he gives it to charity. He gives it away and stuff. And that would be like what I would like to do, to get to the point where I could do that on What's My Good Cheer, because my channel is monetized, and I'm grateful. So for my 3,000 subscribers, that not nearly, because they're all the Urban Explorer fans, right? But you never know what we're going to pick up along the way, and I'm pretty excited about the going to the tubing tomorrow, and going to Assiniboine, or not Assiniboine, going to Pinawa Dam, and doing another adventure and showing you guys that same dam, but doing it in the perspective of summer, and also have a little bit of nature, right? Well, maybe have a conversation as I float down the Winnipeg River for 3 hours. I'm just going to lay. I wonder if I should take a book. Should I take a? You guys think I should take a book with me when I go tubing tomorrow? Because it is 3 hours. I mean, it's not hard for me. I can keep myself entertained for 3 hours. No problem. No problem there, for sure. Ah, okay. See, I don't think of that. I don't think of these. I don't think of these things. Yeah, so I'm just going to enjoy the views. I'm going to make my videos, right? I'm going to have a little contemplation, spend a little bit of time with my friend, or my sisters, maybe make some new friends, because I'm always picking up on a conversation here and there, and you never know who you're going to meet along the way. You might even meet husband number two, right? And all those mistakes, all of that, losing my engagement ring. Do you think that I would ever let that happen again? Right? Lose my engagement ring. It's a pure example of we learn from our mistakes, because, oh my goodness, that was stressful. But I really did think I was going to find that ring, but I never did find my engagement ring, right? It was somewheres in my house, somewheres in my belongings, somewheres in the garbage, somewheres in the drains. Oh yeah, I even pulled the drains apart. I took the traps apart and everything, looking for that ring. Okay, you guys, that's going to be it for tonight. I can barely even keep my eyes open. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to 10 o'clock. I don't know. I'll have to get into some content, or get into washing my dishes, Oh, right, right. You know what I need to do? I need to finish packing for my trip tomorrow, you guys. And I'm going to film it, right? I'll make some posts for my Instagram. And maybe next Sunday, you'll get a notification that I'm doing a premiere. And if you get that notification, you can be pretty proud of me because that means I figured out my editing program, or I got fed up and I'm just uploading it the way it turned out, right? But I'm going to do my very best. I have all week to get it edited, right? I'll have 6 days to edit it. And even at a beginning standard, and that's okay, baby steps. I'm a true believer in baby steps because that will help to keep the frustration and the stress and the pressure off of me, right? And it'll make it enjoyable, right? I hope I have lots of fun editing my video, and I hope you guys join me, hopefully. And I'm not going to even say hopefully. We're going to do this. We're going to do a premiere next Sunday. We'll do a premiere. Okay, you guys. Maybe we'll even do it at 7 o'clock until 7 instead of 7:30, because on Sundays I'm not doing a live show on Instagram anymore, right? I'm doing my angel card on on Saturdays, and then on Sundays I do my YouTube chatters live. So I'm not doing the Instagram during the day anymore on Sundays. So it allows me to, well, have a little bit in the morning, and maybe that was it. Uh, we'll figure it out. Okay, oh, awesome, Owen. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody who popped in last week to keep me company, even if it's just for a few minutes. Just if you just come in and say hi to me. I've been getting some pretty lovely comments, and right, and I'm very, very honored, right, that people actually, right, if they don't appreciate the content I'm bringing to the table, they are gracious enough, right, to allow me to be seen and be heard, and to make me feel comfortable in that process. So I'm grateful for anybody who pops in to my live show. What's my good cheer? It's off to a good start. It wasn't nearly as difficult as it was. There's a few little kinks that I got to figure out. Like, I'd like to get some pre thumbnails done so that each day I'm not spending a half an hour making a thumbnail for my content. I actually have to make two thumbnails. I have to make one because it turns into a podcast. So I have to make sure that I do two thumbnails. But it's going great, you guys. I'm very pleased with how things are transitioning. And again, like I said, thank you everybody for popping in tonight. And thank you everybody for coming in and keeping me company on my live show that I started up this week on YouTube. So, yeah, we'll get that ball rolling. We're going to have an adventure next Sunday, right? No cross your fingers, no eye hopes. We're going to do this, right? We'll put a little pressure on it, stress me out a little bit. It might not be pretty, right? But it'll be fun. 100%. Okay, this rat woman is going to put on her pajamas and get something cold to drink and see what the rest of the world has been up to while I've been away at work. Have a great have a great night, everybody, and we'll see each other next Sunday if we don't see each other during the week. Bye bye. There we go.